In this video, we are going to discuss a number of user interface enhancements to Simcenter FEMAP version 2022.2. First, a few new group commands have been added, which allow you to place geometric entities into groups based on selected nodes or elements which are associated with those geometric entities. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use group curve from node. It's going to make a new group, and then we're just going to select a few nodes. Next, we're going to use group surface from element. It's going to select a few elements. And finally, we're going to use group solid from element, and we're going to select a few elements. We're going to say OK. Then we're going to look at our active group, and you can see which curves, surfaces, and solids have been added to the group. Looking at our full model again, similar to these group methods have been added to the standard entity selection box for geometric entities. So let's just say we were going to do list, geometry, curve, and I choose method from node. If I were to choose these nodes and then use the highlighting functionality, I can see which entities are going to be added to my selection. Next, we're going to talk about the API Selection Tools menu, which has been added to the Pick menu for standard entity selection dialog boxes. I'm going to use the Window Show Entities command. Just choose Node, say OK. Now, in the dialog box, I can use Pick, and then I can go to my API Selection Tools submenu, and I'm just going to say Add Nodes by Range, and say OK, and then we can see how they're highlighted. Now, you can pick which tools show up in the API Selection Tools menu by going to File Preferences, choosing the Library Startup tab, and entering a path to a directory where you can store your API Selection Tool scripts. And you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't need to be named that. One last thing is when you're actually writing the APIs themselves, you're always going to want to use FE Start Selection Tool, then FE End Selection Tool, and just in case you pick the wrong API script or you're picking a different type of entity than expected, you're also going to want to include FE Abort Selection Tool in any script which you use as an API selection tool. The last user interface enhancement that we are going to discuss in this video is in the Analysis Set Manager. Here we have a model set up with kinematic joints. We have a universal joint here in the middle, a revolute joint here at the top, and then another revolute joint here at the bottom. So perhaps you want to see how these are being written out for Nastran. So you can go to Model, Analysis, and as before, you could use the Preview Input button, which is going to show you a preview of your input file. Now what we've added here is this Find field. So you can just type whatever you might want. So I'm just going to type in C joint, and what's going to do is it's going to find the first C joint in my model. Then if I click it again, it'll find the next one that's going to be in the input file, and then finally the last one. Now if I click it again, it's just going to return to the top and just going to keep cycling through here. If I were to change this, then I just click the button again and we can start looking for new items. So for anybody who wants to take a look at their Nastran input file and make sure the right thing's going out, this should be some helpful functionality.